following your warm-up, we're now moving on to the advanced legs class. You're going to need your legs loop band for this class. So we're going to start off standing on your mats and coming out to hip width apart, going to go onto foot series, raising up onto your toes, bend your knees, drive your heels down and stretch back up. Lift, bend, heels down and stretch. Keep going for 10. Keep your balance on your mats. If you're finding it too wobbly on your mats, then come off your mats and stand on the floor behind. Lift, bend, drive those heels down, stretching back up again. And as you keep this going, then make sure that you rise up through the crown of your head, shoulders nice and open, belly buttons to spine, bottoms tucked under, and working through those glutes, hamstrings, quads. Works the whole of the lower limb really nicely. And last one for 10. And now we're going to reverse it back round the opposite way. So stretch down, bend, heel lift, stretch up and down. Bend, heel lift, stretch up and down. Keep that tone through belly button to spine, keeping the hips nice and square. Excellent, keep going. Keep nice posture through that head and neck area. Just bring your head back a little bit for me. Chin in slightly. Lovely. Well done. Okay, right, moving on to 10 to 2 further with your feet. So 10 to 2 again, so you're in a wider stance, toes slightly out to the side, and we're going to repeat that again. So 10 times each, raising up onto your toes first, bend those knees, heels down and stretch up. Keep going. This is a good one to work with the legs in a different position and keeping that control. Keep going. Keep counting for me. So lift, bend, heels down, stretch up. Lift, bend, heels down, stretch up. Keep going. You're nearly there. 10. And reverse it around the opposite way. So bend, heel lift, stretch up and lower. Bend, heel lift, stretch and lower. Keep going. Now again, just as you get into the rhythm of that, make sure that you check your posture, keep up nice and tall. Really keep those, you have to work much harder at keeping your bottom under with your legs out in this position. Keep going. If you need a rest in between, then obviously take one. Don't strain anything. You should be aching nicely through those calf muscles and through the around the area around the hips. Excellent, well done. So pop your bands now around your ankles. Okay, now we're going to work a little bit more around the hips. Standing in the middle of your mats, you're going to slide one leg out towards the side and then keeping your balance, just tiny little taps, not actually weight bearing through that leg. So make all the weight bearing goes and support it through. 10 little taps and then move your leg to the front of the mat for 10 little taps. And then you're going to move your leg to the back of the mat again for 10 little taps. Make sure it goes all through the glute muscles at the back as you lift and tap those toes. And then swap over legs out to the side. 10 lifts and lowers. And then swing it forward to the front of the mat, keeping the tension on the band the whole way through. Excellent, and then to the back of your mats. And then swap over. We're going to do this 3 times. So really think about coming tall, stay tall on that supporting leg. And again, if you need extra balance and want to put your hands out to the side, that's fine, or you can come off your mats if you find that a little bit too wobbly. Especially if you've got a thick mat, it really does challenge your balance. Keep everything nice and still, just make sure it's just that leg that's doing the tapping. Well done, keep tall on that leg. This is a tough one, we'll manage one more set. Out we go, lifting and lowering. Okay, make sure it's just that leg that does the lifting. Make sure that this supporting leg stays supporting and it doesn't end up doing the movement up and down to move your leg. Well done. Get to 10, swap over. Now, if you're struggling with this one, it might be that you need to just lessen the tension on the band or not take your leg out quite so far. But you want to make it so that it's working through there and you can still maintain the form in standing nice and still. Well done. Right, you give those muscles a bit of a rub if those are aching. Right, I'm going to move on to crab walking now. So, going to one end of your mat. You're going to bob down, keeping your feet flat and hands on your hips as you step really slowly, keeping the tension on the band for both steps. So make sure that as you step out and as you bring the other leg that you don't take the tension off the band. So keep that tension on the whole way through in each direction. When you get to the end, we're going to repeat that again. Keep it nice and slow. Well done. Now we're going to bob down a little bit further and bring the heels up off the mat. Okay, so heels up, staying on your toes if you can, keep it nice and slow. Any issues with the ankles, be really careful on the mat. Come off the mat if you do have ankle issues. Or if you're just finding it way too wobbly, then same thing again. Well done. Well, that was nicely recovered. Again, just be careful of having your feet strapped together. Well done. Okay, now keeping the legs really straight this time, you're going to turn your toes out so that they're splayed out and bottoms really tucked in. Now you're going to keep your legs locked out straight and we're going to side climb across. That's it. Now again, keep it nice and slow with those legs. So you're doing a deliberate step with each leg and you're not ending up going, as I say, on the recoil of the band. So keep it slow so you have to work against the band. That's better. Well done. Keep those toes pointing outwards. Well done. Now I'm going to put the heels out and toes in. This works another little group of the muscles, the rotating muscles around the hips. This is quite a hard one, this one. Again, try and keep those steps really nice and controlled. That's super. It's a bit of an odd one, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, and back again. Always go both directions because the muscle work is different in each direction, so no cheating out on once up the mat, you've got to come back as well. Excellent, well done. Right, again, going to stay in doing some crab walking. So I want you to go to do double speed on the crab that we started off with. Let's just move that all of it. So off we go, down you go, and double speed, up and down your mat twice. Good, keep going. Well done, well done. Okay, facing forward along your mat. And we're going to, it's like walking the plank. So you're going to keep tension on the band the whole way as you swing your leg forward into one foot in line with the other. So keep the tension on the band the whole way. When you get to the ends of your mat, stay facing in the direction. And then we're going to reverse it round the opposite way. So walking backwards, it's a great challenge on balance. Oh, as demonstrated. And forwards again, we're going to do one more lap on that. Well done. Keep it up nice and tall with your head and neck. It's very tempting to look down and see what your feet are doing, but go with what you're feeling on the band. I'm about to disappear off the mat there. Well done, well done. Okay, right, let's loose the bands from around your feet. Okay, and we're going to go on to doing a little bit more in the way of balance work. So, standing on one leg on the mat, going to support with a slightly flexed knee and bringing the knee right up towards you, and then we're going to go into like aeroplane, so you push the leg behind you and come into that nice flat stance. Well done. If you find this too difficult on your mat, then go on to carpet. Try and get that. Drop your head down, keep your head and neck nice and long, and back up again. Can you go sideways on the mat for me? Lovely. Which got enough room to clear your head on the wall. Well done. And back up again. Keep swapping over. Go to do 3 times on each leg. See if you can control it the whole way. Keep it nice and slow and controlled. And then coming into that nice flat back position. Trying to keep that head and face looking down at the mat. And don't kink your heads back as you're doing this. Well done. Balance is just so important in any activity or sport that you're doing. And it's having that control and balance at the same time. Well done. I know you don't find these ones easy. And again, stretching long through that spine. And one last one, is it?
I think so. I've not been counting, to be honest.
And back up again. Smashing. Right, just come forward on the mat a minute for me. Right, grabbing your bands, you're going to pop your bands back around. We're going to go above your knees for this one, and then lying down on your mat on your sides. Okay, now again, just make sure that you're centred off properly. And try and get your band nice and flat so that it's not digging in. You good? Okay, so making sure that you've got that little waist, your hands can get underneath and slide underneath your waist area so that you're not going banana shape with your spine. We're going to straighten your legs out in line with your body. You can pop your fingers down for a bit of forearm support if you want to, and we're going to lift this top leg up to hip height. Keep your toes pointing forward but your toes pulled up towards you, and we're going to lift against the band and come back to hip height. So just down to hip height. Come a bit lower for me, otherwise you're going to do the next exercise. Okay, when you've done 10, point your toe for the next 10. See if you can run it, keep it going. So lift and lower. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now move your foot forward in line with the corner of your mat. Same thing again, you're going to pull the toes up towards you, lifting for 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Point, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and rest it down. You might want to just take your knee forward. You should still be able to do that with your band on. Just rub those muscles out. It's a tough one to keep running one exercise into the other. We're going to do the same thing again, but we're going to start at hip height and come upwards. So you're going to do this higher lift and just coming back down to hip height. These get tougher and tougher, and again, just make sure that you're not ending up moving too much around this area here. You've got to keep that lifted through this part here. If you find that you are beginning to wobble all over the place, then either lessen off your band or don't do so many in a set, but try and run one into the other. So toes pulled up, toes pointed. If your sets are 6, 7, it doesn't matter as long as you're running one into the other. Try not to lose too much movement. Getting away with a bit too much there. Okay, right, you okay? Start rolling down. So again, just make sure that your band stays where it should on these. Right, we're going to do a similar thing, but we're going to come up to hip height, getting toes pulled up towards you, and we're going to do 3 circles in one direction. Really stabilise up. And then we're going to do 3 circles in the opposite direction. And then point your toes, 3 in one direction, and then 3 in the opposite direction. Right, go forward with the leg if you can without a break, and toes pulled up, 3, and then reverse for 3. Point for 3, you okay?
Yeah.
And the last 3. And relax off, well done. That's a real tough one. Okay, now we're going to repeat that one again with the circles, all right? So in line, nicely in line. If you find that you're struggling a little bit with your balance side of things, maintaining position, you can always bend this bottom leg a certain amount so that it stabilises you up. So you can do the set in this one. And with Georgina, I'd recommend she does that. She's beginning to fatigue a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that bottom leg keeps her stable so that she's maintaining form. Okay, and then circling again. Try and keep it all through from here. Excellent. They become less and less of a circle and more of a squircle. Okay. We all right on that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm going to move on now to just taking that band off a minute. Down to the ankles. Sorry. Just take your band down to your ankles. Lying over on your side again. Same way. And go straighten out the legs. And lifting the top leg up against your band. So lift up. Right, now keep that one where it is. And now lift up the bottom leg to join it. And then lower both legs down. Okay, and lift against the band. Lift the other leg up. Control it against the recoiling up. And then lower both legs. So lift, lift, lower. Good. That's 3. We're going to do 10. Have a rest in between if you need it. You okay?
Yeah.
Keep your belly button pulled towards your spine. Keep your head and neck nicely supported. Well done.
Hope you're counting.
We do however many you can do to really hit that fatigue point. Excellent. You've done 10? I think that was a bit short of 10.
We'll
But
do another one.
and lower. Right, let's go over onto the other side. We're going to repeat it over on the other side. Okay, so starting off with your band above your knees, we're going to do those lifts and lowers just up to hip height to start with. So in line, bit of support, check your positioning, and off we go. Toes pulled up towards you, and lifting and lowering for 10, and then straight into pointing toes for 10. Really squeezing through those butt muscles. Well done. Keep going. When you get to your 10, you're going to swing your top leg forward to in line with the corner of your mat. And lifting again for 10. Try and keep it really still through here. That's better. Lifting up to hip height. And then point for 10. We're going to come back to, give it a bit of a rub out, coming back to starting at hip height and then pulling up against your band. So this is a nice tough one. So lifting up to hip height, and that's your starting position, up and down to hip height. Again, just keep really stable in through here. Really difficult to control this centre part on this. Pointing for your second set of 10. Have a break then after that set of 10 if you need to, otherwise carry on. Corner of your mat, lifting and lowering with your toes pulled up towards you for 10. And when you've done your 10, point for 10. Keep it all pulled in, all nice and still. Working really hard now. And down, take it forward, give it a good old rub out. This is where you might need to get your spiky ball or massage to get your foam roller over this area after you've done your session. Right, going over onto next one of taking your leg so that we're lift lowers. Is that the one? Oh no, circles. I'm sorry, you almost got a reprieve on doing that. So pull your toes towards you. Make sure your toes are pulled towards you for your first 3, and then second set is going to be 3 in each direction. Toes pulled up for 3 in one direction, reverse for 3, and then point your toes for 3. Well done, take that forward. Okay, and second set was Georgina's doing with a leg bent up, so again you can get more support by doing that. But really keep everything still. Well done, you're nearly there, nearly there. Point for the last 3 in each direction. Well done. Give that muscle a good old rub out. Okay, last one on this side is your lift, lowers. Bands rolling around. Okay, so down to your ankles with your bands, straightening out in line, lifting, get yourself nicely centred, support with your hand in front if you need to, and then you're going to lift the top one, then slowly lift the bottom leg and then lower the 2. Try and make sure that you stay nicely in line as you're doing those. Lift, lift, lower. Lift, lift, lower. Excellent. Keep going. Halfway there. Lift, lift, lower. Keep your lower leg a little bit slower for me if you can. You okay?
Yeah.
Last couple. Well done. Last one. Well done. Right, roll over onto your backs now. Let's just stretch those muscles out. And we're going to stretch out by whichever was your top leg last. Lift that leg up, cross the ankle across your opposite knee, and push your knee away from you so that you're stretching out these little rotator muscles in your bottom. Does that feel really nice? Okay, just hold it there for about 15 seconds. Okay, and now we're going to pull the lower thigh inwards, so pulling in, again giving it a bit of a stretch out. Now if you want to, you can add in a little bit more of a push with this opposite, on the opposite knee if you want to. Okay, keep on going. And relax off. Now replace this foot and going to take the knee and the ankle of your top leg and pull both of them towards your opposite shoulder. So pull your knee in and then wind it up a little bit more by rotating, but keep the pressure on with this top hand as it goes towards that opposite shoulder. So rotating that lower leg towards you. Okay. And then we've worked through those different muscle groups that you've just been working really hard. Well done. Right, let's swap over and let's do other leg. So cross over the opposite leg, pushing out, pushing that knee away from you. And again, as you're doing this, just make sure that you're not ending up rolling towards that side of the knee. So make sure that your hips are staying flat onto the mat and you're not ending up twisting. Good, and I'm going to now pull in this lower thigh. Squeezing in. If you want to, you can bring your head and your shoulders up towards that leg. Some people like to do that one as well at the same time, but it doesn't really matter as long as you're getting a stretch in the right place. Okay, and lowering that leg down. And then grabbing the knee and the ankle, pulling it towards the opposite shoulder. Just make sure that that left side doesn't start lifting up off the mat as you're doing it. Well done. Keep the pressure on, and you just go into a point of a bit of tension. Don't start making it really sore. Just keeping a little bit of a pull. So keep that pressure on of knee to opposite shoulder. Wind it up by pulling the ankle towards that same shoulder. Excellent. Let your leg come down now. Right, let's go to work through the doing the shoulder bridge exercise. So popping your feet so that they're hip width apart. So start off with your hips and your knees and your ankles together. Turn out to 10 to 2, lift out in line, and we're going to squash into the mat and scoop your bottom up. Stay there, keeping those hips level and stable, extending one leg. And lower it down, swap over to the other leg. Be really careful as you swap over, and then lower back down again. Okay, and again. We're going to do 5 of those. Bit of a warm up to the next one, and stretch out. Stretch the opposite leg, and lower back down again. Well done. As you keep that going, So as you're doing this, then you're making sure as you lower back down, just make sure that you get good form on that. And it's so important to make sure that as you lift one leg, that you manage to stabilise your hips. If you start wobbling around, or the opposite hip, so as this leg lifts, if this hip was dropping down, then I'd say don't go as far as that. Don't do your leg lifts, because you've got to be able to stabilise, keep those hips level and stable. We've done 5?
I think this is the last one.
Okay, last one. So lifting up, keeping those nice and flat. Extend one leg, fantastic, and the opposite one. Perfect. Okay, and lowering back down again. So if that was strong enough for you, then carry on with that one. Otherwise, if you were quite happy on that one, we're going to extend the right knee. So either stay on the one that you've just been doing, or lower the level, and extending one leg if you're okay, and pushing up through the one leg lift, and then slowly back down again. Swap legs. Going to do 3 on each leg, and then we're going to change it a little bit. Well done. Try and keep those thighs parallel so you're not ending up with this leg wobbling around all over the place. Perfect. And down. And again, just be careful you don't go into cramp on this one. This one's a great one for giving you a hamstring cramp. If you do, then just stretch it out. Excellent. And last one. Well done. Okay. Right, we're going to go back to 2-leg bridging. So you're going to keep both feet on the floor, make sure they are hip width apart, but just bring the heels closer to your bottom a little bit. And we're going to do lifting and lowering up on your toes. So lifting bottom up, you're going to dip down halfway and then push back up again. And you're going to do 3 dips and lowers. 1 more if you can, and slowly back down again. Now the next set you're going to do is to pull your feet back, so you're pushing through your heels as you push up, and again, half dips, 3 dips. So you lift and lower. Well done. You okay? Mm-hmm. And then swap over. Again, we're going to do it 3 times on each. Lift, down we go. Well done. Keep those hips level and stable as you're doing it. Again, you must make sure that you're not ending up coming down, wiggling your way down with those hips. Keep them parallel to the mat as you lift and lower. Well done. Again, just watch you don't go into cramp on these. Now it's really important that you don't end up vaulting through your head or your neck, so make sure you keep your head and shoulders nicely relaxed as you're doing those, with the effort that you're not ending up pushing your head hard back into the mat. Is this the last one? I think it is, for 3. Well done, keep going, and lower down. Excellent. Right, taking your bands, we're going to do 1 more in this position.
Where's it going?
Sorry, over your knees. Excellent. Okay, so going to, again, come out hip width apart with those legs. Going to push up through 2 legs and then extend your right leg. So straighten out that right leg. Okay, and you're going to do a little push out away from the other leg and back again, and push out towards me, 3, push out, so if you can, and replace and lower. Are you okay?
Yeah.
Lift, left leg extends, push that leg out to the side, keep those, this is a fantastic stability exercise, it's a really tough one as well, and down. Okay, going to do 3 of those. So we've done 1 on each side. Lift, extend your right leg, push out towards me. 3, and replace your foot and lower your bottom. Lifting up and extend your left leg, push out to the side. Well done, keep breathing. And replace. Well done. When you manage 1 more, don't hurt yourselves. If that's enough, then stop there. Otherwise, just lift and lowers. Well done. And replace, keep breathing. So you're breathing on the effort. So as you lift up, extend your leg, you're exhaling as you're pushing out. And then inhale as you lower back down again. Well done. Okay, so taking the band off from around your legs, we're going to come up and we're going to come up into a hamstring stretch now. So coming over onto your hands and knees and tuck your toes under. Going to roll up, and as you roll up, grab hold of your ankles, keep your knees nice and bent, and keeping your feet hip width apart, chest towards your knees, let your head hang long and straighten out those knees behind as far as you can. Don't worry about how far you can straighten your knees, as long as you're getting the pull down in those hamstrings, that's absolutely fine. Just going to hold that there for a couple more seconds. And then let your knees bend, turn your toes in and your heels out. And going to do the same thing again. Keep your chest towards your knees, head hanging low, and straighten out your knees to where you can feel a stretch coming on. Going to hold that, keeping that tension on through there, and you'll feel it pulling in a different section of your hamstrings. Couple more seconds. And let your knees bend. We're going to go to one more position. So toes out, heels together, so that you're standing like Charlie Chaplin. Grab hold of those ankles, let the head hang. Keep your chest towards your knees as you straighten out those knees. Get a tension onto those hamstrings, and you're just holding it there. Don't force it. It should be a slight discomfort rather than it's going to twang. Well done, and relax off. Come back to centre so that the feet are centre. Grab hold of those ankles. One more stretch in that position and straighten out those knees. Let your head hang. Lovely. Well done. Now let your knees bend again and let go of your ankles and gently roll up one vertebra at a time, coming up nice and slowly. Slowly, slowly. And standing up nice and tall. Just stretch those arms out. Bit of a finish off there. And we're going to link your hands up at the top so that you turn them inside out like that. And push up nice and long. Okay, bending over to one side, you're going to come all the way down, reaching down towards your foot, all the way around, like drawing a great big circle as you come round. Stay at the top and reverse it round the opposite way. Well done. And back up to centre, push out, coming down in front. Just roll those shoulders round. Well done. That concludes our advanced legs class. And don't forget to have a bit of a roller out or get the spiky ball on that area here where we've worked really hard.